You're listening to Have You Ever Wondered? It is Wednesday, July 6th, 2022. I'm Chloe, and the title of today's episode is, do you have long COVID? Or is it just burnout? Or is it something else? So the pandemic keeps coming up because the pandemic keeps coming up because it's still going on. And although we're not in the beginning part, when we were all like, what the heck is going on? Or in those horrible heights when the safest thing you could do was to stay away from other people. Now we are entering a new realm where so many people have had and thankfully survived this virus that its after effects are becoming more clear. I'm sure you've heard from time to time in medical news or in an article or something the term long COVID. I have two, obviously, and one of the things about it that struck me, well, the first thing was, geez, it sucks to make it all the way through a life-threatening disease and then have it not actually fully go away. And then the second thing I thought was how many of the things, the symptoms, sound like symptoms from multiple other medical issues. So how are you supposed to know? I'm not sure you can know fully. Boy, are we really losing hold of the things that you can know for sure these days, aren't we? I mean, there's still some left, definitely, but they do appear to dwindle. Now, according to Mayo and the CDC, and I'll give links for all this, of course, the general symptoms of long COVID can include tiredness or fatigue, but not just, oh man, I'm tired. Like, it starts interfering with your daily life. Symptoms that seem to get worse after you've exerted yourself. Difficulty breathing, cough, sometimes chest pain, occasionally fever. And the neurological symptoms are the ones that sort of hover over several different potential diagnoses. Difficulty concentrating, that brain fog they refer to, headache, trouble sleeping, dizziness or lightheadedness, of course that classic smell or taste coming and going. There can even be joint and muscle pain, GI issues, menstrual cycle changes. I mean, this thing comes for you. can also lead to furthering heart conditions or creating them, blood clots or blood vessel issues. It's a serious thing. Now let's go right back to Mayo and look at some of the symptoms for burnout. Fatigue or trouble getting your day started, mood changes or irritability, difficulty being productive or concentrating, trouble sleeping, headaches, GI issues, other physical complaints. What about chronic fatigue syndrome? Fatigue, brain fog or difficulty remembering things and concentrating, sore throat, headaches, joint pain, dizziness, trouble sleeping, extreme fatigue. Even ADHD shares some of the symptoms, such as forgetfulness, trouble focusing, and changes in mood, according to Hopkins and Mayo. And that's just the start. So what do you do if you've been feeling like this? First of all, I am not a doctor. This is not medical advice. But the first thing you have to ask yourself is, well, have I had COVID? Have you had it more than once? Even if it was mild or asymptomatic, you could still get a symptomatic long COVID. So that's a possibility. How long have you been feeling poorly? Has it been 2 weeks? Has it been 3 months? Do your symptoms predate when you had COVID? Now, there are no exact durations. It varies from person to person. Also, I didn't know this. The symptoms can go away and come back. But one of the first indicators that you're looking for would be symptoms that last longer than or resurface after that fairly standard week or two it takes to fully recover from a normal bout with COVID. Now, I'm one of 4 people left on the planet who hasn't had it. So for me, when I feel tired, I know it's because I get up at 5 every day and then work for 10 or 12 or 16 hours. And the brain fog and forgetfulness predates this pandemic by so many years. Those have been with me almost from the start. But what you can keep a special eye out for are those especially COVID-like symptoms, the respiratory ones, the fever, the taste and smell, the chest pain. And it's those neurological ones. Did you notice how those neurological ones crossed over in all 4 of the conditions I mentioned, and also a host of other medical issues? So even if you ascertain yourself that you don't have it, it doesn't mean you're off the hook with your health. I've been thinking a lot about burnout in our culture lately, and I actually plan to devote an episode to it later on because it's way more common than people realize, and it's not getting a ton of attention, probably because it's so ubiquitous and almost perpetual, but it's something that also needs to be addressed. If you do have it, first of all, I'm really sorry. I've been doing a lot of reading about this, and when you're sick for any reason or not feeling well for any reason, what you're looking for is a remedy, a respite, a way that you could eventually, even if it's not immediately, feel better or improve. And even institutions that are generally at the forefront of medical research, like the Mayo Clinic, like Johns Hopkins University, like medical organizations from all over the world, are saying things like, well, if the symptoms start interrupting your life, visit your doctor and they can treat the symptoms. They're not sure if they can cure the thing yet, stop it, roll it back, but they can help you mitigate the symptoms. And then a lot of the research I said was basically the scientists going, we'll get back to you when we know more. And although it can be discouraging to find out that they're not exactly certain what to do yet, it can also be encouraging to know that some of the best scientific minds available today are actively working on it. Today's poem is by Christina Rossetti. And it's called Who Has Seen the Wind? Who has seen the wind? Neither I nor you. But when the leaves hang trembling, the wind is passing through. Who has seen the wind? Neither you nor I. But when the trees bow down their heads, the wind is passing by. I chose that because it reminded me of what we're talking about, which is something is there, but it's sometimes difficult to describe how or why. Again, I am not a doctor or any other kind of medical professional, and this is not official medical advice. I love to read and do research, and I've been wondering about this topic for a long time, and so I wanted to dedicate a show to it as a reminder to people that if you haven't been feeling great lately, there could be multiple reasons why, and it's worth taking a look. It's worth doing some investigation for yourself. I'm grateful to have had the opportunity to share with you some of what I've learned, and I hope it encourages you to look deeper in the matters of your own health. And most importantly, please take care of yourself as best you can. I'll see you tomorrow.